This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers.
What is that? What is it?
Oh, here we go.
Sorry, I left the picture up from my train journey in this morning. Sorry.
Jesus. Right. Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Long Run live stream and podcast brought to you by FORDY Runs and our sponsors at Skechers. And please head over to skechers.co.uk, check out all the latest trainers and clothing. And the Go Ride 11 is on there and I'm loving them. So I suggest everyone goes and checks those out. Obviously, just before we start, if you are on Facebook, Chris has put a link in there. So please do click on that so we can see who you are when you're commenting. And Start Fitness, 10% off with them using the code FORDYRUN. So have a look on there as well. Tonight, I am with Chris, Jatila and Hayden, who stepped in at the last minute because Toby is otherwise unavailable because he's stuck at work. So thank you, Hayden, for jumping in. Tonight we're going to actually be talking about, will you run on holiday? So we're getting into that season. I mean, I've had my holiday. Hayden has about 12 a year and Jatila and Chris are heading off anytime soon. So I thought it was timely to talk about running on holiday. I know we've touched on it, but actually, what are our plans? What do we do? What do we recommend, advise, and all of that? So yes. Anyway, how are you, Jatila? It's been a few weeks since I've seen you.
It's been ages. I can't remember the last time we've actually been on together. I think the last time we were on, you were jet setting around America and you're in Vegas. But now you're back on home soil. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Had a little bit of a sort of a slowish week on the old sort of running over the last week. Just the common cold of 2023 struck right in the middle of summer. But yeah, just sort of getting back on my feet and hopefully ready to tackle a 10K race next week, guys.
Are you? Where are you racing?
Battersea.
Is it the run-through one?
Yeah, doing the run-through Battersea 10K, the evening one. So I don't work too far from there. So I'm just going to plod on over after work.
All right. So if anyone is in Battersea Wednesday night, go and say hi to Jatila.
Come and find me. I'm going to need all the support I can get, guys.
You're going to smash that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Have you got time in mind?
I would like to, well, my PB that I set in 2021 was, I think I ran 45. So I do want a PB. I know I'm very capable.
Okay, right. So you be quiet now. Let's go around the room. I think she's going to do 41 minutes, maybe less, 41.
Well, I'll take that.
Hayden or Toby?
I'll go 42.05.
Right. Admin?
Ooh, I'm going to go 42.30.
No,
just because it could be warm. No, I think she can go quicker, but I think it could be, you just don't know on the day. So I'm going to be, she could go 41.30 to be fair.
Yeah, I feel like it's 41.
What shoes are you wearing?
Of course, I'm going to have to get out the Alpha Flies. All right.
39 minutes, I'm changing.
Yeah, 35 minutes.
I honestly haven't taken them off for any of my speed sessions. I need to invest in a different colour.
Yeah. All right. So we're expecting big things from you on Wednesday night.
Right, we're watching it. So let us know if you're watching this live. Get it in the comments what you think she's going to do.
Yeah,
we should do a bit of a sweepstake on this, actually.
I know.
No pressure, but
the closest person, I'll treat them to a drink.
Oh,
right. There we go.
Kenzie?
Are we all at Big Half?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Post Big Half then. No, Sabrina.
Absolutely not.
Okay, I'll send it in the post.
She is. I'm going to work on this, don't worry.
Anyway, right. Hayden, Toby, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Apart from being called Toby, being insulted in the first 2 minutes, well, the first 5 seconds of the show.
What do you mean insulted? That was a legit picture for you on the tube this morning with me.
Listen, honestly, right, they've got to get this out of the way first of all anyway, before we start anything. I thought that the FORDY had some pride. That video that he put up on his Instagram, if you haven't seen it, please go there and see his attempt at skipping. It is diabolical. He literally has got the elegance of like an elephant. It just, what? Honest to God, I was shocked. I thought it was a joke at first. I thought he was messing about with some TikTok video just to get viewers or something. I don't know. I can't believe it was serious. I don't think he managed 3 skips.
He didn't. I counted them this morning.
Honestly.
The best thing was, I just checked my phone before I threw it over there, so don't get finished. Claire Martha's just messaged me. Well, something like, can't stop watching this video. It just makes me laugh.
You've done it for attention. You have to. There's no way that was serious.
Well, no, you are Simon. Simon was there, and I can do it. I can do it like one-legged. You know, like if you, I don't know if it's even you're allowed to do it like that. But I was doing it sort of one-legged. Like imagine a horse. You know,
that's how the good people. That's how good people do it. So why are you
doing it like one-legged? And then Si said, "No, I've got to do two-footed." And I went, "I don't know how to do that." And then that's when the video. It's a legit video.
Do you know what I'm expecting though tomorrow? Because your girls are pretty impressive, right? On a lot of fronts, your little girls. And I can imagine them on the street with that skipping rope, like one each end, and Chris like going in the middle and jumping on it. Maybe you should start with that. Try that and see if they can hold the rope for you. You can jump.
Just make sure you're filming, because I think that you've been framed. They're still paying like 500 quid for these videos of like people that look ridiculous.
I'll cut it out. I'll split with you. Split with you.
It was awful.
I'm shocked here. But yeah, that's what I've been doing all week. Skipping. No running, just skipping.
I need to know where this whole skipping thing come from.
You need to get on it, Gisela.
I did feel really... from school, I remember being good at skipping. But I mean...
I can teach you.
Might take a while.
But do you know what, actually, Hayden, I'm going to send you... I found this one. My brother told me actually about this amazing woman that learned to skip in lockdown, and she's like phenomenal. She's got like millions of viewers now on Instagram. But she's got a video, really quick one, that just shows you about skipping form. And I've realised we're all probably doing it a bit wrong. So we should repost that on the long run Instagram story.
I'll do my version.
I bet that lady you're talking about as well, I bet she is ripped to hell with like some 8-pack and everything.
Is insane. Yeah. And she's fierce. She's got about 10 different types of skipping ropes. But I saw that video of just like really easy skipping form, how to hold your arms. And I thought, actually, we should share that with everyone, because a few people have jumped on this now. So if we can all help each other out. So, we'll get that on.
Let's just re-clarify. So thanks to everybody who's watching this live, by the way. Get your questions and comments in the chat. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, thank you. But we have set a challenge because Hayden has decided that he wants to do skipping. So you have to skip for 2 minutes every day up until Hayden completes the New York City Marathon with me. All right. You have to keep going and doing it like I did as a professional athlete. All right. Go on to FORDY _runs on Instagram and you'll see how it could be done.
We did 2 skips, not 2 minutes. Let's clarify.
I'm telling the viewers what they've got to do. So everybody's got to do this. And when you've done your skipping, we don't care if you tag us every day, but tag us, tag the Long Run Show, tag Sketches _UK, stick it on Instagram. We'll reshare it. We want to see you skipping for 2 minutes. You don't have to film the whole 2 minutes. You can start speed it up, or you can just do 25 seconds. It's entirely up to you. But we want to see you skipping. It is the craze, the sensation that's sweeping the nation in summer 2023. True, isn't it? Anyway.
You need to give a bit of background to this for Jatila. The reason this all come up was last week we was talking about, now we're a bit of a down season. There's not so many races. What are people doing with their time? What is good to do now? And I come up with I just said it's good to try something a little bit different, a little bit new. It's not going to put you out of your plan. And I come up with I listened to a podcast and I listened to a guy talking about plyometrics, and he said skipping 2 minutes per day will increase your running performance, every part of your fitness on a different level altogether. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go. And I said, as a little comment like that, and off the back of that, obviously he's just taking it to a different level, and it's just gone really silly. But honestly, I'll tell you what. Also, I need to go back to that point. When people say 2 minutes of skipping, like, I'll give it a go. 2 minutes seems like forever on that rope. It's hard work.
A long time.
I might try it now.
You've got to do it
next
You're
week.
Part of the team. You've got to do it. You ain't got a choice. It's mandatory.
Okay.
You've got to do it. And on a serious point, for the next 3 seconds, Hayden's absolutely right about skipping in terms of helping with you as a runner. It is one of the best things you can do. So get on it, people. Right.
Anyway, how are you? Because you've had a...
Me, yeah, I've not been well this week. I've had a shocker. I've taken it as a down week. I've got the about everything. People getting on my nerves. I won't name names, but admin, you know who. Went to the gym. Some other idiot there wanted to just leave. He's doing all this stuff, right? And I'm just trying to like do this stuff, right? Struggling, blowing out my rear end, trying to lift these free weight things. And he's decided he wants to take the whole area up. He leaves his jacket on, like his jacket on one machine, and he leaves his phone on another, and then he leaves. Why when you're at the gym, why don't you just take your stuff with you? Why do you have to leave it all over the place to everybody? It's
That's what lockers
inconsiderate.
are for.
Nobody cares, right? How big your muscles are. Just get on with it and stop getting on everybody else's nerves. So I had to move because he wanted. I was like in his space. I was like, where's this your space? You've got all your all over the gym. If there was a geezer who worked there, I was going to have to say something. He really gave me the ump about it. So
is it the same bloke that was lifting like the Eiffel Tower last week?
What?
Is it the same bloke that was like lifting up the Eiffel Tower?
This is a different geezer. This is a different geezer. If I was the manager there, both of those people would be banned because they're the sort of people who are putting people off like me. And at the end of the day, you know, you want to be inclusive. You want everyone to come in, not feel like well, they haven't got anywhere to stand because your mate's stuff's thrown all over every bit of equipment. Like he's got his grips here, his t-shirt, his bottle. Then he walks from one machine, then he does a bit of filming on Instagram and all, you know, all this sort of stuff. So I've started filming myself in the gym. Don't know if you noticed that today. Absolute Mickey take. I'm going to continue to do it just to annoy everyone. I think, honestly, I saw some lady. She was doing all these things with this bottle, and all she's doing was filming herself. I think if you actually got on with it, love, you might actually get out what you're trying to get out here instead of trying to be on Instagram.
I can back you on some of that. It must have been a couple of months ago now. I was in the gym and I was in the squat rack. And I was about to go for my other set, just started on that. And there was a phone. I hadn't even noticed it, to be honest. It's such a weird place. But there was a magnet on the back of her phone. So the phone was magnetically connected to the side of the squat rack. I didn't notice. It was at an angle. So I'm mid-rep now. She's come charging over inside of the squat rack where I am to pull her phone off whilst I was mid-rep. And I literally was like, interesting. Very, very interesting.
I was doing this with these things, right? Struggling, like literally like about to have a heart attack, right? Got no clue. Like, and he's like moved like this rack thing. And I just looked at him. I went, this is what you can imagine. I went, I'll move, shall I? And then I was just like, are you for real? Honestly, these people, I'm gonna create my own gym. It's gonna be called 40 Runs Gyms, right? And the only people allowed in there is me. Everyone else is not allowed. It's just me. And unless you sign a waiver to say that you're not a complete melt. If you sign that waiver, you're allowed in. But you've got to keep your own belongings to yourself. You can't just leave your stuff on other machines that other people are going to use. At one point, I was going to go on that machine and I was going to get his jumper that he'd left on it and just throw it on the floor. But I thought, what's the point of having a row?
I pay money to see this waiver. Can you please just write up an example waiver and share it next week? This is just my life at the moment. Right. Anyway, I'm gonna turn it up. What?
All the big problems in the world, and you're annoyed about someone leaving their jumper. It's brilliant.
That's not just his jumper. It's all he's got everywhere. He's got his bottle here, his phone here, he's got this, he's got that. I wouldn't mind, but there was like 3 people in there. But he just managed to take up the whole space. And then when I was just like literally struggling, he must have seen it. He thought, who's this idiot? But then he wanted to stand, and I think, are you for real? So I said, genuinely. Oh, I'll move, shall I?
Tony has just put something saying home gym. Now, not all of us have got the space for a home gym, but Toby has got the space. So we should build
and he's never there.
So we should build a gym in Toby's house and we can all just go and use that to go with the treadmill that he's used twice.
And he stays around his house quite a bit now.
Oh, is that where he is?
No, he's not there tonight. He's genuinely working tonight. But usually he's at his house. I'm not allowed to say names because I got told off. But he's around there a lot. So we could use that as well. But admin, more importantly, look. Genuinely, we've had a lot of emails in this week. I mean, loads. So much so that they broke the inbox. There was so much love for our game that we played the other week that we've got a new game.
Oh, no.
Remember,
I'm on tonight doing a favour. I'm just filling in last minute.
You don't know what the game is.
I know what it's going to be. There's not going to be abusive to admin or to Tiller. This is going to be about me.
No.
Your face, your stupid face. I can see it already written all over. Look at him. He can't even look at the camera. Look at him. I know.
Wait,
the funny thing is, obviously, you've stepped in last minute doing a favour with like 4 minutes to go, basically.
He wasn't meant to be here.
4 minutes to pull together a stupid game.
It's not a stupid game. this was pre-planned, the fact that he wasn't going to be here. And it's got nothing to do with him anyway. But who wants to play the new long run show game? Who put your hands up? Right. If you're listening to the podcast, you can jump on this and play this back. If you're watching this live, get your pens and pencils ready, people, as we play our new game. Hang on, let me get the... It's got an amazing intro. You ready? It's called What is Taller?
Oh.
Right, welcome everybody to our first live show of What is Taller?
Chatilla, please don't give him credit for this.
Welcome to all our contestants this evening. So, how this works is I'm going to show you a series of pictures and you have to say what is taller. It's very simple. Play along at home. If you're on your run, I want you to play along too. So, first up, Jatilla. What is taller, Hayden or me?
Oh, Hayden.
Admin?
You, I think.
Hayden or Toby?
I actually think it's actually quite close. You might actually just do it. I'll go you.
You ready? Viewers, are you ready?
That's
Here we go.
Stupid picture, isn't it?
It's me. Only just so. Only
Great
just.
perspective. Yeah, great
Okay.
perspective. Yeah.
Right, next up. What is taller, a park bench or Hayden? Admin, what's taller, Hayden or a park bench?
Do you want the real answer or the answer that
Real
you're
answer. This is a serious quiz. This is an award-winning podcast. Go on.
Well, according to this picture, a park bench is going to be taller, but that's not technically correct.
Silla?
Hayden.
Hayden's taller than a park bench. Hayden, Toby, what do you think?
I just can't even give credit to this game. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I will show the viewers. Actually, you're wrong. It's actually Hayden, but only just. Okay.
Big is that bench?
Don't worry, we've only got 3 more to go.
Size of the Atlantic Ocean, that is.
What is taller, Hayden or a baby? Jatilla.
Hayden.
Hayden. Admin. Serious. This is a serious award-winning podcast. Yeah. Quickly, come on. People getting bored.
I said Hayden.
Hayden.
Baby.
You're right. The baby's taller than Hayden. It's amazing, right? Penultimate round. Admin. What can Hayden? Sorry, I've got it wrong. Can Hayden fit in a rabbit hutch?
Depends how big the rabbit hutch is.
Yes or no? Simple question.
Well, yes, because it could be a ridiculously sized rabbit hutch.
Sarah?
Given what you're probably going to put on the screen, yes, with plenty of room.
Hayden?
Yeah, I'll crawl in there.
There is the little hobbit. Look, but he's bigger than a rabbit.
They're giant
Nice.
rabbits.
Very
They're giant
interesting.
rabbits.
Okay, the last round, people. Now, this is very important. This is probably the most important round. Can Hayden get served at a bar? Admin.
Yeah.
You can get served at a bar.
Yeah.
Jatilla.
I've been at one where Hayden has been served at the bar. Yes.
Thank you.
Hayden?
I have been served at a bar, yes.
Okay. Viewers, got your answers? Right, here we go. Final one. Unfortunately, he can't. He's too small. He can't. That's him, by the way, down there. I'll put the arrow. Just so, no, he's too small to get. He's like a hobbit. So anyway, that's the end of...
What?
Abby,
Why is there a yeehaw in that?
we better talk about running to the award-winning podcast.
What goes through this bloke's mind? I wonder what on earth, when he wakes up in the morning, what he thinks of. It's honestly baffling. No idea.
Bring us back, Abby.
Oh my god!
Remember, he genuinely wasn't meant to be on tonight, right? This was all done last end of.
It makes it worse.
We was going to play it without him. That's the best thing. He wasn't going to be here.
It's even worse he had to sit through that, if anything.
Oh god, poor guy. Right, let's actually talk about some running, shall we?
Yes.
Where should we start? Right, holiday season is upon us. School holidays kids have broken up the last couple of days. People are going away. And there's a lot of people questioning, and I know we've touched on this before, but do you run on holiday? I'm in the middle of a training block, whether it be for a 10K, a half, a marathon, etc. What am I going to do? I'm going away. Yeah, what happens now? So I guess the best place to start is, what do we do? Do we run on holiday? What do we recommend? So Hayden, you've just come back from holiday. And I know, I think you were a bit poorly, weren't you? But do you run? Will you run? What's your kind of mindset and plan towards it?
Yeah. I'll always run on holiday. Maybe not to the same intensity as what I will on a normal training plan, or maybe not as long either. But whenever it comes to any sort of marathon you're looking at, I'm always looking like a long term in the future. So when I get my 16-week plan, I'm thinking to myself, when am I away? When am I not away? And for that, sorry, that comment from Paul about just a half a Hayden, I need to get over that first before I carry on. It's putting me off. But no, so I will always run when I'm away. But as I said, when I start out my marathon plan, I'm looking at my holidays, same as I'm looking at my races, and I'm putting them into the plan. And I'll try and work out. I usually have a down week every 4 weeks. And when I say down, I mean I just cut back slightly. So if I can arrange my plan and work that around the time while I'm away, I would definitely try and take the down week while I'm away.
Yeah.
I think we said it before. It's almost like people get nervous about this, not running on holiday and losing all your fitness, everything you've done working up to that point, you're going to lose. And it's quite simple. We've proved it on loads of occasions. It isn't the case. I sort of see like a training plan, sort of steps going up. And you're working your way up, you're getting fitter and fitter. Every fourth week for myself, or if you're going away, you almost just step to the side. You won't lose any fitness at all. You just want to maintain what you've got. So I feel like you're going up, you step to the side, you go up again, you step to the side, depending on how many times you go away or how many respites you want to put into your plan. So for me, I'll always run on a holiday. The problem of running a holiday comes with a lot of sort of side things as well as like issues. First of all, the heat. Normally we go away to a hot country. So running in that extra heat is really difficult. So you need to adapt with that, i.e. going out early. That's always the best way around it. You've also got the issue of where you are. I always find, especially places like Greece, for example. I'm going to Greece at the end of this month, and I've already had a look at the terrain around. You can't run around there. I might find a sort of like a kilometre route down to the old town and that sort of back. When you start talking about running up, unless you want to start running into mountains or into woods or all sorts of unknown terrain, it's really, really difficult. So then you've got the option then of a treadmill. And for some people, that's a great option and they'll take that over going out anyway. But for me, absolutely not. I'm just not a treadmill runner. I don't enjoy it. I find it difficult. Everything about it I'd prefer literally just to do something else to keep my fitness up. And they're the sort of plans that I'm going to be making. And funny enough, and I will do it, I will be packing my skipping rope. Because every day, it's easy to skip. I won't be skipping around by the pool, just outside my balcony, a couple of minutes skip every day. It's all about maintaining that fitness and just staying where you are so I can come back. And the benefits of the holiday of being rested and relaxed is going to make...
I just keep thinking of Hayden going through security, about 3 foot tall, with his little lunch, like his little pool case like the kids have, and then opening up security, and there's a skipping rope in there. Some jam sandwiches.
Where is this come from? Why have I suddenly shrunk? I'm like Benjamin, but why have I suddenly shrunk in size and become a kid with like a trunky suitcase? Where has this all come from?
You've had too much tensing today.
It's all up here. Honestly, there's something not right with it. That skipping, it really got to him. He's not right this week.
Right, sit on ones. With the like lady place, Lulu's pulling through Terminal 5.
Oh my god. All right. Jatila, thank you, Hayden. There was some actual value added in there, unlike someone else this evening. Jatila, you were just saying before we went on air that you're going away, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Quite a while.
So yeah, I'm away for probably about 2 and a bit weeks. I go next Saturday, so I'm on the show next Friday, and then I go on Saturday. Got a work trip to Singapore, and then also after they're going to Bali, because I was like, whilst I'm over there, might as well just combine the two.
Oh, tight. Singapore and Bali.
Right, well, Singapore's for a work event. We have an event there, and then we're going to Bali after.
Have you been to Singapore?
I went last year for work as well, so it's the same event. And that's one thing I really, really struggled in Singapore, especially to run at any time because of what the weather conditions are there. Yeah. So it's extremely humid and it's constantly raining. like 40 degrees, doesn't really get sunny until sort of midday, and then it's too hot to run. So thankfully I was in quite a good hotel, which had a good treadmill, good aircon, but I was in the midst of, what was it, last September? Yeah, so it's sort of getting ready. I was in marathon training and I just wasn't prepared for doing miles on a treadmill. I'm just like Hayden. So although I took my stuff in hope that I was going to do something, you don't really know what happens in your situation until you're actually there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be quite similar for Bali. So in my head, I know that I'm going to take my running stuff and I'm going to do some of what I can. It's also a great way to sort of see around the place. And I know, like what Hayden said, I went to Greece last July and didn't even look at the route. I just thought, oh, it's fine. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to head out super early before the sun and tackle some miles. The island I was on felt like I could have ran back and forth 10 times. The only way you could go was up. And it was just painful. So yeah, I do love to run on holiday. I'll always factor it in, especially when I go to places in Europe like Spain or Portugal or places like that. It's really nice to sort of explore the area, because I know when you go on holiday, you tend to have like an itinerary. You kind of think, right, I'm going to probably do this on this day. I want to go and see this. You might be in a group. People want to do different things. Not everyone's going to want to get up at 6 a.m. and go for a run. So it's the perfect time to sort of dedicate yourself, go and explore a different area, even cycle somewhere and cycle back somewhere if you need to get somewhere. But yeah, I do like it. I always strip back on my plan when it comes to a holiday. Similar to Hayden, always factor it in. I had a call sort of with my coach recently and was like, look, I'm going to be away for a while. I don't want the pressure of feeling like I've got to get up and do a 5-mile run. I kind of want the flexibility to maybe fit in the miles across a chunks. Let's say in the week I maybe want to do, I don't know, maybe like 20 miles or something, and I can do them whenever I like, instead of sort of stressing, thinking that I've got this on this day, because it's a holiday. I mean, to us, running is nice and we go away on holidays to run, but sometimes you just need to think, right, kick back, relax. We don't get out of the country often, so when you've got the chance, just do what you want. To be honest, I think the moral of the story is just do what you want. Take your stuff. If you do, you do. If you don't, promise you're not going to lose anything. Like, you're not.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's so much pressure sometimes when you're in the middle of the plan and when you're thinking about it, you think, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. But we've all said it, not running for a week, 10 days or whatever, you're not going to lose your fitness. You can get sick, you can get injured, right? It's not going to make any difference in the grand scheme of things. Coming back with a healthy, happy mindset is going to be way more important than trying to squeeze in 50 kilometres in the 50-degree heat and ending up with sunstroke and being sick from it. So, yeah, some good advice there. Chris, what about you? Because you're going away, aren't you?
Sorry, I was just in the middle of saying.
I don't want to know what you
don't want to know what's coming up. I don't.
What was the question?
Oh, Jesus. What, you're going on holiday soon? What's your plans? Are you going to run on holiday? Because you've got quite a heavy autumn, haven't you? You've got a lot coming up.
Yeah, I've got a lot coming up. I started early with my plan.
Yeah.
20 weeks until New York. Obviously, we've got Berlin in there, but I started early deliberately because also within that plan, I took the 2 weeks, effectively 10 days, but 2 weeks that I'm going to be sort of on holiday, and I need to be on holiday. I need to sort of shut off, switch the phone off, sort of thing. Which I think is important, by the way. If you're like doing your running and stuff, try and stay off of Strava and things like that as well. I think it's really good to have like a proper reset. If you are running on holiday, run to feel and I think I said this to you the other week. Somebody messaged me and said, thanks very much. Again, just as a heads up, there's these people that the NHS, these like mental health practitioner people that are free and accessible to everybody. So if you're struggling, make sure you get along to your GP and get access to it. But the lady said to me, make sure, Chris, once a week that you do a run for you. Okay, so obviously when I'm out there, I'm filming shoes and whatever we're filming, right? But she said to me, make sure you do one run for you. Yeah. And I would say the same to you guys. If you're going on holiday, go out without a watch. Don't go without phone because obviously you want to be safe. But go out and do that running, but run for enjoyment instead of being in the worries of a confinement of being in a plan. Make sure that you run for fun. Make sure that you run to however you're feeling and that sort of thing. I think that's really, really important. because especially when you're away, it can really recharge you mentally as well as physically, right? So that's really important. So, and don't worry about if it's not a Strava and all this sort of who gives a toss, right? So anyway, going back, so I've deliberately built my sort of miles up. This week's a bit of a setback because of obviously getting sick. That's one of those things. That's life. That's marathon training. But the plan was always to go up to sort of, it's not peak mileage, but it's not a million miles away. So like 52 something miles next week is where I'll hit. And then I'll come down for effectively 2 weeks while I'm away. But so I've had a nice ramp up, but I've not gone mental in terms of like, if you go onto my Strava, for example, you'll see I did a period of like 20 something miles after like having May off effectively. Then I did a period of like 30 something miles. This week I've done, or last 2 weeks was like 40 odd miles. This week's obviously a bit of a down one because of, like I say, getting sick, but I'll still end up at 30 something. And then next week we'll then go up again to that sort of 50 peak, down for holiday, recover, reset, let the body catch up with everything. And then what that does is that takes the pressure off of running on holiday.
Yeah.
And if I want to go for a run, because I want to also use the holiday to, like I said, to mentally reset, physically reset, if I fancy getting up and going for a run, I'm under no pressure to go for a run. Even though I'm in a training plan, it's not really going to make a hell of a lot of difference, right? Whatever I do. I will go for a run and I'll do those wellness runs, as I now call them. By the way, I might even trademark that. But but those wellness runs on a serious point will happen, but as I feel for them and as I want to do them, and there's under no pressure to do them. So the camera won't be there, we won't take any shoes with us that need to be filmed or any of that sort of that I have to do. And say it's but it's nice. I'm looking, I've got 8 pairs of shoes there. So, but I don't want that pressure to be able to do. I just want to go out and run because I feel like running, and my running will take care of itself for that 2 weeks, 10 days. And my baseline fitness will stay the same. I won't probably lose anything. Yes, I may, because I run so much, I may lose a fraction. But ultimately, I'll make that up because of the mental freshness that I'll come back with. So actually, I'll be in better shape than when I left. And that's the key for me, is that I come back in better shape than when I left, more mentally than physically.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does, absolutely. And we say it all the time, isn't it? Like we run for many reasons, right? But one of them is for our mental well-being and to look after ourselves. So that's really important. I had a question. Has anyone here done like one of those running holidays where you go to a specific running holiday camp? Or have you been on holiday where you've called like found like a local running group to run with? Because I know I've seen it a few times actually on our group where people have gone, oh, actually I've been wherever and I found a local running group. Jatila, you're saying yes.
Yeah, I have. Not recently, should I say, in the last sort of like 4 years, but I used to do it every year with my training group.
Right.
So we always used to go to either Greece or Monte Gordo in Portugal, and we would go for either 2 weeks or 3 weeks, which was perfect because at the time I was working sort of like in the school, so I had the school holidays, so you could just go and get a villa, your whole training group go, and you have like a program where you just sort of have stuff that you do every day, and it's revolved around sort of going to the gym, rest days, track days, trial days where you have like a trial day at the end of the week. But I think now that was more for the competitive side of things, because you see all of the elites and stuff, they always go away this time of year. You don't see them from sort of March until or even February, January, right until the season starts here, sort of in the UK. So I don't really do it now because I'm quite happy with the routine that I've got and the fact that I can just pack up a bag and go to anywhere in the world and run on my own. I don't have to be in a set program, or I can go to anywhere in the world and find a park run if I wake up early on a Saturday morning. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I have done them and they are great, but it's a case of it's like if you get injured, it puts a proper downer on your mental well-being. If you're somewhere where you're around 20 other people that are all running well or running great, and you pull up an injury or you can't run, normally we can go away and take ourselves away from that situation when we're on our own or we're on holiday and just recuperate, recover. But if you're in a group around loads of people that are all doing well, it can be quite daunting, and you can come back feeling a little bit more deflated than when you went. So I'm not saying they're a bad thing, but you just need to have a purpose for going on one, I reckon.
Yeah, no, that's fair. What because we've all run on holiday. I mean, mine was pretty well documented, given that I was in Vegas and I called you to tell you that I'd run down to the sign. But if you had to give people kind of like 1 or 2 tips, if I start, mine is, if you do go out, don't worry about the pace that you're going. I was in Vegas and I didn't even look at my watch. I couldn't care less whether I was going the same pace as I do here, slower, faster, whatever, because for me, I was doing that for fun. It was like my time to go and run, see the sign that everyone else had seen, and just enjoy it. And I think if I had looked at my watch and been like, oh no, what do I do? I need to be running this pace and this fast and whatever, it would have taken that fun away from it. So mine is, if you do go out, take the pressure off and don't worry about hitting a certain pace or hitting a certain distance. Go on, Hayden, yours?
Yeah, mine would probably be, and it's actually one thing that I really do enjoy about doing a run on holidays, doing it early.
Yeah.
So I know it's not the ideal thing, especially if you're out relaxed, you're out drinking all night and you're really partying. The last thing you want to do really is get up early. But if you do get up early before that sun rises, not only is the temperature better, makes it easier to run. You've obviously got the sight of that sun rising as well, which it just changes your whole thought process. Everything's really nice about it. And then I do get back to the hotel and everyone else is just getting up, quick shower, breakfast, and just sort of like set up for the day. And that feeling for someone that is really into running, likes running, especially when you are a little bit conscious about thinking you're on a marathon plan or you've got to run, getting that done and sort of eating that breakfast afterwards, sitting by the pool, that feels really good. But the downside to it is you do need to get up early and do them runs. The last thing you want to do is be running in 35, 40 degree heat, because that is just going to take it out of you so much. And that is not something that you want to be doing.
It's, you know, it's a good point though. There's something really smug, isn't there, when you're on holiday and you've been on either on the treadmill or out for a run, and then you go to breakfast and you can eat you're eating whatever you want. You're like stuffing your face with pancakes or whatever. Like, I know Tracy Whittington, our good friend, she's on holiday at the moment, and when Petra was away on her honeymoon as well, she was like, "This is great. I've just been for a run and now we're eating pancakes." It's like you kind of look around and you think, "Oh, I could do what I want now." It's great.
Yeah, it is a really good feeling, especially it's almost knowing like you've got the job done, and for the rest of the day, it's almost like all yours. And especially if you're only going to run every 3 days or so, to do that once every 3 days, get up early, it's not much of a sacrifice. And as you say, being out as well, that mental well-being, that's just something really special about running when the sun's rising. I don't know what it is. It's just something really special about it. And it's a lovely feeling. And you'll always see other runners out there as well, whether they're native from the same country or whether they're going to be Brits or other people on the holiday. You're always going to get other runners out there. It's a real nice feeling.
Yeah. Jatila, what's yours?
Mine would probably be to plan somewhere cool to run on a day. So if you've got like a sort of you're in and out of a program, you're not really sure where or what you want to do, just have a look at where you're staying, or have a look at some local places that seem to be quite popular for running routes around there. Sort of check where it is. Can you combine it to a morning breakfast or something like that, or a walk along the beach after, sort of ice bar, shall I say, put your feet in, just find somewhere cool. Like I said earlier, you might not find, your itinerary might not fit the places that you want where you are. So go and explore, like find somewhere cool. You can more or less, you get excited to do it because you think, oh, okay, I'm going to go somewhere new on my own and I'm going to explore and I'm going to be back by 9 o'clock sort of thing. So yeah, I'd say just get your phone out, have a little look, even ask the locals if you're sort of in there, people that work there or something, where's cool to run. Just go and have fun, really. Enjoy it. Go and find a nice route. It can be literally a mile, 2 miles. It can be anything you want. Just go and explore.
Yeah, good. Great advice. Go on, Chris.
Couple of things. What? Firstly, if you're an anxious mess like I am, I actually plan my routes to run before I get to the destination. All right, which is another tip. So get on yourself onto Google Maps, right? Find your hotel, your place, your if you're staying like big villa like Hayden does, then you could probably run within the grounds. But if you're just in a hotel or you're in an apartment or whatever it is, right? Wherever you are, caravan, whatever. Go on Google Maps. I plan my routes out. So I can see the elevation, I can see where I'm roughly going. I can then, once I figured that out, I then go on to Garmin, stick them in my watch, off I go. Right. So that's one thing that I do. Again, purely from an anxiety thing. So I don't have to worry about getting lost thinking about all this sort of stuff, because that's the first thing I'm thinking about when I leave. The other thing I would say is cut down your distance. Don't necessarily think, you've got to go and do 10 miles, 10K, whatever. I'm much prefer personally, be more consistent and doing a few 3-milers in the heat. Will have just as much benefit of trying to slug out a, slow, ponderous, painful 10K, because you've got to find 6 miles, and chances are something's going to be uphill or something like that, something silly. Do you know what I mean? And also, if you're in a strange place and you're further away from hotel or whatever, you just, that's just me. Don't get me wrong. Like last year, I eked out my run. I got a little bit further and further, and then I sort of quit when I got to 3 miles, and I turned around and came home. But I had a lovely route that I could run along the seafront sort of thing. But I wouldn't necessarily focus on, I've got to go and get 13 miles. It doesn't matter. The other thing is as well, to look before you go. Might sound a bit nuts. Find if there's a track local. That's a good shout. You can get down to one of the local tracks. You'll probably find they're a lot more accessible than the ones over here in the UK. The UK ones are all like with these traditional clubs locked out. They don't want anybody there unless you've got a certain vest on and all this sort of they're most of the time they're public ones, and you might be able to get along to them. So again, go early, get a track session in. There's another way of doing it. You can do a real high effort for 20 minutes, decent, warm up, then do a high effort for 20 minutes, cool down, and then you're back home sort of thing. So that's another thing to do, is look up tracks as well. But I would really look at shortening the distances out and work on more the higher efforts. So that's, and even if you find like some hills, go and do some hill repeats. They're the sort of things. And again, you're compressing that session in. So you're back to the pool, hotel, caravan, whatever it is, in a short space of time sort of thing. But I would honestly use Google Maps and things like that, so you can find a safe route, and maybe 1 or 2 different routes. And then, I say, do those other things. The other thing as well, which I would really recommend, I'm going to do it this year. And I think, and I've been inspired by Speako on this one. I'm going to be running shirtless, which I think is brilliant, because I don't care anymore. So I'm now going to be running, because it's so hot out there. It's 50, 60, 70 degrees or something. And this is genuinely inspired by Speako. I'm not making this up. I'm going to be running with no shirt on, because I don't care anymore. You see all these dudes, right, out in Spain. They're like really like brown toned and all this sort of stuff. I've got not much longer in the gym to get in that sort of shape. So, or my skipping as well. So I'm now going to run shirtless on holiday. I don't care anymore. I might even do it in half tights as well. And I'm going to do it. Yeah. I'm going to do it in half tights with no vest on, because honestly, I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. And they're going to see me in that state for half hour. What do I care? I'm never going to see those people again. So that's what I'm going to do. So if you're in Mallorca and you're going to be in Calador and you want to see something unbelievable, me and my man boobs, we're going to be running around. So come along, see. But I honestly just why sit there and sweat like a so and so into a top and that's like uncomfortable, hot, and just awful? Why not just not bother?
I mean, I preach it, to be honest. I mean, I would, on holiday, I normally always go out in a top to start with. Normally drown loads of water on me. The vest is soaking. We'll eventually take it off and run in a sports bra, like, especially when it's really early in the morning. It's hardly anybody out. Anybody that is out doesn't care. And then even like you said about the tracks as well, especially when you're going to these local tracks. I'll never forget, actually. I was in Crete, and this track was it was cheap as chips to get in, right? If people could just jump over the fence. There was a guy that was there on this training holiday, a local, probably, he must have been, pretty old, walking around, does a lap, and then he goes over to the goalpost, because normally with obviously the tracks, we've got the football pitch in the middle. He was doing muscle ups on the goalpost. He was doing about 5 muscle ups in his flip-flops, t-shirt off, and then he'd walk another lap. And then he'd do muscle ups, and then do another lap. He would do that consistently from the minute I was there to the minute he left. And he probably does that every day.
Was he quite small?
He was tiny.
Yes, Derry Hayden.
But can I just say on that? Because I am all about, listen, people should be comfortable. We shouldn't be conscious about what we look like and how we feel. But
don't care.
The only thing is, please, you especially, Chris, because you know what I'm like every time we go to a race, and I'm like, boys, have you got sunscreen on? Like, they're my mum. Please, everyone, if you are out in the sun, whether you're in a t-shirt, you're not, whether you're in your sports bra, whatever you're wearing, whatever you think your skin can handle, please, 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 even in this heat over here at the moment where it's on and off and it's a bit overcast, we should all have sunscreen
I don't
on.
think as runners we tend to, do you know what I mean? I think we just sort of get out the door and forget about it. But it's a really good important point, you know, visors, caps, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually. If you're on the 40 Runs Running Community Facebook page, if you go into the search thing and you put in Lulu Taff, my wife, she unfortunately, not that can be blamed just on running, but it certainly didn't help. She actually contracted a form of skin cancer on her head, and she put a whole post up about it and quite bravely put the pictures on of what happened and the state of what actually got to in the end. And it's actually quite, when you realise and you look at it, it does make you think twice. And I think you need moments like that to realise that it's not a game. It's not. The sun really is strong, and we do take it for granted way too much.
No, we do. We do.
Yeah, we go. It's early in the morning. It's 7 o'clock. We're going for a run. I'm just going to pop in and out. But it's. I know I don't mean to preach and be annoying, but it's super important. So if that's
I would recommend everybody run, no top, Stetson. Off you go. This is the way we're going to save the world.
I would also say another bit of advice is especially if you're a headphone wearer and you want to get them headphones on and do your run. I think Jatila touched upon this before as a marathon tip. Make sure when you're at the hotel or even now when you're at home, get your playlist downloaded. Yeah. Because when you go out to these places, especially now, some places you don't get your data allowance, some you do, and it's getting less and less. So get your playlist downloaded now, or your podcasts, get them all downloaded already, all loaded up. So when you go out, you've got no worries about that at all. You can just play them away.
Yeah. It's a good shout because I totally forgot about that. And I only had my one country playlist, which is great because I only listen to the same bit of music. I eat the same things, play the same music, watch the same things. It's just me. But that was all right. But it is true that after about 6 runs, I was thinking I could do a little bit less Luke Bryan and a little bit more Guns N' Roses. Do you know what I mean? So it's a really good point. What?
How many times are you going to watch that first 30 minutes of that film?
On the way out and on the way back.
And whilst you're out there as well? Or like...
No. I only get used on flights.
How long's the flight? 3 hours? 2 hours?
2 hours and 15 minutes, but that's gate to gate. That's not the time in the air.
Right. So at least 3 times on the way out. So if anyone doesn't know, Chris watches the same 30 minutes of the same film and then he'll rewind back to the beginning.
Hero.
So instead of like watching the next part of it, it's just the same 30 minutes. He's going to watch that 6 times on his way to Spain and back.
Well, New York's going to be fun then, isn't it?
Oh,
that whole 8.5 hours.
Charge the battery up.
Awful.
Charge the battery up. What? It's true. It is true. It's genuine. If anyone suffers from panic attacks, you'll totally understand that. You'll understand exactly why I'm doing that. Thank you very much.
Right, look, we've had loads of people commenting today as well. We haven't got to.
This is the best comment here. When on holiday, nobody knows you. Nobody cares. Go on 40. Mick, you're my hero. This is what I'm talking about. Boys, don't be scared to run with no shirt on. Put the sun cream on. Get your moves out. No point sweating in a vest that's making no difference other than heating you up. Just get out there. As long as there's no laws against you not doing that, then make sure you don't care what's it. And just what's the point of wearing a vest, right? If it's 42 degrees, what's the point of wearing a vest? What you're just going to sweat into? It makes no sense to me anymore. I mean, I get the body conscious thing because I'm probably I'm with everybody in it. But honestly, just throw those inhibitions away now. And honestly, you watch it. Speako did this, right? It was an incredible act of What are you smiling about?
Because anyone that knows Toby will know that this couldn't be further from the truth.
He hasn't got any vests in his. Has he or has he not got any running vests?
No.
And that's the reason he doesn't have any. And that's genuine. You ask Speako, has he got any running vests? He'll say no. The reason that is because he runs topless in the summer. It's true. He hasn't got any vests.
And then the other night you were having a go at him for being harsh with you. And why do you think it is when you talk about him like this to the public for an hour?
There's a backlash from his fans. When he was at ASICS, there were so many Speako fans. It was hilarious. Oi, Speako.
And we got Kieran Price here just said in the comments as well that before he goes away, like you said, he uses Street View to picture the key turns and junctions, etc., in his head. So when he's out there, he's sort of like already knows the route. So
it's true. It's honestly, it's a really good tip. That is to hunt out your routes. And also, I think with Strava, I mean, I don't pay for it because you'd be a bit silly to pay for it, wouldn't you, Admin? But you would, I swear, there's like you can get old routes from people on there and stuff. I don't know whether that's true or stuff, but you might be able to look up where other people have run out there and use their routes as well. That's the other thing.
Can I just tell you on that Strava thing?
Mm.
I went to cancel it, but you obviously pay for a year.
Oh, you
So
haven't?
yeah. So I've paid for the year. So even though I've now cancelled it, I've got access to it until next May or something. So bad, isn't it?
So bad. It's the biggest Strava.
What's
premium.
the difference between paid and not
Just a
paid?
waste
I've
of money.
only got paid. I've only got not paid.
Yeah, most normal people don't pay. You know why? I don't get it. I don't.
Well,
What can I do that's different?
Nothing. You're just still into look. Right. Let's just take a step back. If you want to do that, that's 100% fine. Honestly, I get it. If people really did geek out some of on the stats and features, that's absolutely 100% fine, and I applaud you for doing that, right? But I think most people really, it's a massive waste of money. I don't see anything else other than I get all the stuff I need from it, right? And that's just my simple brain, but I don't really see what else you're getting for £8,000 or what. How much is it?
It's £55,
Bit
right?
lumpy,
And
isn't it?
also, the worst thing is, anyone that knows me knows I don't look at any
She
stuff.
don't even look at it. I sit there and
don't even
comment
look
on
at
her
my watch
Strava,
when I'm running.
hammer her on Strava about and she don't even look at it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
what's
don't
the fun?
even
Follow
have an actual
Sabrina.
route. Like it's just literally what did she run in the morning or the afternoon and what she ran. That's it. You can't even sit. There's no map. There's nothing. Like, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, but I don't even honestly ask anyone that runs with me. I don't look at a watch when I'm running. I know what my route is. I know how far I'm going and where I need to turn, and that's it. So I couldn't tell you whether I've got even pace, whether I've gone off too fast. I'm just like, oh, I've gone out and I've come back.
So you get all of that. You get all of that on your Garmin Connect, and every stat you get on the Strava, you get on Garmin Connect anyway.
Absolutely right.
Your laps and stuff.
Yeah,
Garmin Connect is brilliant.
Yeah,
it really is.
No, actually, it's a discussion to have on another day. People don't use Garmin Connect enough. You look at it initially when you first finish your run, you might look at your heart rate, stuff like that. Then you almost like forget about it. And then a lot of stuff does become about Strava. Because on Garmin Connect, you can do the same sort of thing where you can share runs, you can follow other people, but people just don't tend to do it. And it's got so much more data, it's so much more usable.
Oh, it's so good. For my speed sessions with that, like Strava is pointless. All it does is tell me where I've gone, whereas with Garmin, because I set it up on intervals, I've only got like a Garmin 230, really old one. It does the job. Yeah, it does the job. Set in the intervals and then put it in. So if I want to do like 2 minutes or something, it laps it for you, gives you all of the splits there for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Garmin Connect's brilliant. Honestly,
all your splits.
I get all this stuff on here, right? I don't know half of what I'm looking at. Yeah. It's brilliant, Garmin Connect. It really is. And even just to to give other brands a fair shout, the Polar app, brilliant, loads of data on it. I mean, loads of data on there. The Coros, I'm not a fan of Coros at all, right? As a brand, but to be fair to them, their app's very, very good. There's so much data in there, so much, and like you've got what's it called, Runkeeper, and all this sort of stuff. Like the Nike. I don't know what the Nike Run Club one's like in terms of the data. But
apparently it's not too great either, to be honest.
The Garmin one, the Polar one, the Coros one, there's so much stuff on there. Like you probably don't even realize, and you don't have to pay for it because you're buying the watch. So
do you know what we should do? Because there's a few things saying I'd like to know more about the features and stuff. So maybe we should actually do an episode where we go through what you guys or what we all like on and what we use, what we don't, and how to use them. Because I think people probably find that useful, just knowing what you do when you get one of these watches, because otherwise you're just looking at the same thing, aren't you?
Yeah, well, it's not even just a watch. Obviously, you get. So when I first got the watch, there's loads of different stats, and you can start looking at them, getting into them. Then you buy a heart rate strap, and the stats go through the stats double, and you start getting all sorts of figures coming out just from a heart rate strap, telling you. I think it's just incredible that you can know what your cadence is from a heart rate strap. It just honestly. Yeah,
we need Speedgoat for this.
We do.
Speedgoat is like king geek of all this. He will literally send you to sleep.
Also, I'm the worst. I've got all of this. I've got a watch. I've got a heart rate monitor. All the gear. No idea.
Strava.
Yeah, I'm literally Garmin Connect.
Why would you even pay for? It makes no sense to me.
I'm just going to say, I think you probably told me to do it at one point. And that's why I've got it, right? And now
No, but I wouldn't have done.
55 down.
Look, I might be wrong here, but I'm not 100% sure that I've had it for. If I had it, it wasn't for a particular reason, maybe to do with a video or something like that. But I'm not. And by the way, just to get this absolutely clear, I'm not having a go at Strava. I'm saying that admin shouldn't have paid for it. Okay, I'm not saying about anybody else paying for it. I'm just saying this is directed 100% at her, knowing the fact that she looks like zero. I mean, honestly, go over to her Strava, comment on any of her runs. Right, she don't look at none of it. So just fire away and go over there. Right, she don't look at none of it. So that's what I'm saying to you. It's absolutely the biggest waste of money is her having Strava Premium.
Well, I've got it until next May now, so
You've got to start using it, honey. I've been starting to just put loads of photos on there. I love going.
Why?
The amount of gear that are on my Strava profile at the moment just feel wholesome.
Oh, that's the best thing. I think most people have he's blocked everyone, but Tobe's got some absolute crackers on his. Honestly, there's one of him in a helmet. I'm not saying anything more than that because he really will tear me a new one. But there is a picture of him in a helmet, and I think he done it deliberately. But I don't know whether he's a cat because he blocked me the other day again. But if he did, he blocked me again.
I mean, that's not a shock, is it?
If you go over, see if you can find him on Strava, if he's not set it to private, have a look at the pictures. They're award winning. They're better than some of Hayden's ones.
Oh, yeah, they would be, wouldn't they?
Do you put pictures on Strava, Hayden?
Do I what?
Do you put pictures on Strava?
You know I do because you comment psychic comments on my Strava every single time. Obviously, of course he does.
I didn't realise.
No.
I might go into Jacilla's now, start looking at her pictures.
Yeah, you should move on.
I even put a video up yesterday of the deer all sleeping.
What, on Strava?
Yeah.
Who uses Strava to put photos and videos?
I just really like it. It just complements it.
Maybe this is a thing.
I'm really enjoying it. I do love it. I do. Just for that reason. Like looking back and thinking, oh, I ran there. Oh, that was nice. Oh, the deer looked nice that morning.
no,
The thing I do like about it, I do like it. You know, you've done like a race, and suddenly it comes out you've just run with 125 other people. I find that quite interesting. And they do parkrun, because you do bushy parkrun, there's loads of people. Every time you finish, suddenly it comes up that you run with like 250 different people.
I never get that.
That's because you run on your own. It comes up, you've just run with Simon. That's probably it. Or Ben. You've just run with Ben.
Yeah, I'll run with Ben. Mind you, I'm not running with him this week. He's ditched me. He has. He sacked me off. I've done one run with him, training run. Sacked me off already. Look, he's cast me to a side. I'm back with my old mate, Simon. It's nice, though, isn't it? You've done one run with him. He sacked me off this week. It's not very nice, is it? It's true, though.
That's because
Simon's only running with you because I'm busy and God knows where Toby is. So
yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that.
God. Right, we've got to nearly an hour. This is mad, isn't it?
On what?
Right, what's everyone doing this weekend then? What's going on?
I'm actually teaching kids to skip, and then I'm doing 18 miles.
You should just not teach anyone anything, especially about skipping. Once you can do more than 2 skips, then come back and talk to people.
I think I did 3, technically.
No, you didn't. It hit your legs on the third one. You definitely didn't do 3.
We're going to remind the viewers.
It's not 3 full rotations.
If you're listening to this podcast and you're not watching any of this live, or you may have switched off because it's just absolute toot, but you need to do the 2 minute a day Hayden skipping challenge. You need to tag Long Range. What is it? Long Range Show on Instagram at @FORDY_run, Sketches UK, all on Instagram. Get your videos on. We'll keep going them on stories. You've got to skip for 2 minutes every day until Hayden completes the New York City Marathon. I'm going to be there with him to make sure he does it. So you've got to keep going, and you've got to go.
Just send us a 15-second, 20-second clip, not the full 2.
Yeah, we don't need 2 minutes because that's just insane.
I'll tell you what, if Chris does more than 15 seconds, I will be absolutely.
I did 25 seconds. So I said I was 25 seconds.
That was 25 seconds. No way. No way.
He said it was 25 seconds.
He lied. There's no way. Right, go on.
Have we got any shout outs this week, by the way?
Actually, John, I've got a big shout out to a real big long show listener fan, Mr. Robert Hallam, soon to be a granddad. It's his birthday today, so big happy birthday.
Happy birthday, mate.
He is legend. He really is.
He's a nice guy, isn't he? And it's his daughter, isn't it? And Theo, they're having a baby.
Yeah, they're the ones having a baby. Yeah, so Yeah, they're actually on the way at the moment to Amsterdam to do the Z Park Run tomorrow. So good luck to them, both of them. And they're going to be the first ones that I know of. They're going to get a 40 baby grow. They want one designed. So, Chris, better get on the case.
Get on it, yeah. Okay, I'll speak to Merch, head of Merch.
Yeah, instead of making pictures of Hayden, maybe you could do that instead.
Look, those pictures are all legit. That was 100% him on the tube this morning. Yeah, I'm going to root around and find a picture of him at the airport with Lulu getting him through the airport. I'm going to find that as well. Honestly, they're all legit, these pictures.
No, I remember Jatila nearly had an accident a couple of weeks ago when he had the picture up of me on the beach drinking my bottle of beer.
The best thing is, right? The best thing
I honestly did. I don't know what come over me.
That quiz today, right? Genuinely, he wasn't meant to be here. We was going to play that without him.
Cheers for that.
That's the best thing. Is the fact he's here for his own quiz.
God. All right, Jatila, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, tomorrow, joining a friend I haven't seen in ages. Used to work with her like a year ago, so we're going to go. She's been injured for a while. She does triathlons. So we can go for a nice chat and run around Bushy, of course, park run. So if anybody's there, Are you there, Hayden?
I'm there tomorrow, yep.
See you tomorrow, bud.
See you tomorrow.
Bright and early, and then Sunday probably just do something like light, sort of ahead of Wednesday. I don't want to do too much. I have a little bit of a cutback week this week. We've been ill, and then just prep ready for Wednesday.
You've got to let us know in your time, kid.
Yeah, I will. I'll be straight on the old WhatsApp. Don't you worry, chap.
All right.
I'll be on Strava. There'll be pictures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's true.
Oh yeah, there will.
With 18,000 pictures of her running through. Oh, look, there's a bush. Oh, look, there's a twig.
She ain't gonna have time to take pictures when she's going sub 40.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this is true. I'll save it for after.
Good girl.
Go on, Hayden.
I am tomorrow, long running tomorrow, but I am going to incorporate. Well, I'll finish up probably at Bushy for park run. So, and Sunday, actually, my daughter, who never runs, is actually doing a Race for Life 5K obstacle course.
Wicked.
So
That's brilliant.
we're actually going to watch her do that. So make a change. She normally comes and watches us. So this
Brilliant.
time we're going to be going and watch her. So
Yeah,
busy
big
week.
shout out to her then, because that's for a great cause as well.
Yeah,
So
brilliant.
good on her.
Yeah.
All right, amazing. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope that was actually helpful. We were actually talking about something of value and not about skipping.
I don't think we was.
We'll be back. Chris will be back on Monday night for Bite Size, talking about all your gear and whatever else, trainers, kit, whatever you want to talk about there. So over to YouTube on Monday at 8, isn't it? That is. Yep. And we'll be back next Friday. Until then, thank you again to our sponsors at Skechers. Head over to skechers.co.uk and obviously over to Start Fitness as well with the code FORDY runs for 10% off. We'll see you soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Outro.